here in Lubicon territory that we've been working on for a year now. The Alberta Federation came up on a site visit to find out more about what was happening here in Little Buffalo after 20 years of them not being recognized and not having their treaty rights applied, or not having a treaty actually, and having everyone develop their lands and not giving them any of the proceeds. So we came up to find out how it was 20 years later and discovered that we had a group of kids here that love, as native Albertans, love the opportunity to play hockey. So we decided to start a project, and the project was called Operation Hockey.
So the AFL Human Rights Committee, we came up here in May last year. We wanted to investigate the living situation, the living conditions here. We discovered there was no running water. The kids would take sponge baths. They really had nothing to do here, nothing to do in the community. We asked the kids what we could do as a committee to improve their lives, make things better, and they told us the hockey rink. That was in May. This is February the 6th, and the kids have a great rink and they're having a fantastic time.
And we're going to continue to work with the Lubicon Nation here to make sure that they get lighting and helmets and enough so that these young kids have an opportunity to have fun like the rest of Albertans. I work for Harvest Operations Corporation, and we were asked to contribute some funds to the rink initially, and so we kind of thought we could contribute some, but we'd get some in-kind contribution as well. So we, Harvest Operations, committed to doing some fundraising throughout the rest of industry, the oil industry, and managed to get quite a few dollars put towards this to help complete it. Working alongside this community from an industry to community relations perspective for a couple of years now, I've seen a lot happen here in the past few years. They had a ball diamond and this rink, and I think it speaks for itself with the way the game's going out here today, so I think it's pretty important to the community, and I think industry is glad as well to contribute to it.
In a lot of ways this is quite personal for me and for many activists in Alberta. Like, I think way back 25 years ago when I was a young 18-year-old kid, just sort of waking up to the realities of the world and the complexities of the world and the injustices of the world. One of the local injustices that really caught my attention was what was happening right here at Little Buffalo with the Lubicon, because it was the mid-80s, and it was the first time that Albertans were actually starting to pay attention to what was happening here. They learned, for example, that this is a group of Aboriginal people who were missed in the treaty process. There were a group of Aboriginal people who were literally sitting on a vast wealth of oil resources, but because they had no treaty, they had no rights to the natural resources. Oil companies were coming in and pumping literally millions, hundreds of millions of dollars out of the ground and leaving nothing here. Operation Hockey is an initiative of the AFL's Human Rights Committee. They saw a problem, a long-standing problem about the way this community has been sort of shunted aside and excluded from the wealth generated by resources that the community is actually sitting on. And this is a community that's been shunted aside. It's a community that has unmet needs. And I guess at the end of the day, this was just about compassion. It was about being frustrated with the situation, and it was an example of people in the labor movement looking for a concrete way to deal with an obvious problem that was right in front of them. The idea was that maybe we, as a labor movement, could pool our resources, raise funds, and build a rink that the kids could play at, and which could become sort of an anchor for the community. And that's exactly what we've done. You see behind me, dozens and dozens of kids from the community who started playing on this ice earlier today. Literally hours ago, they stopped only for a few minutes to grab something to eat, and now they're back on the ice, and they'll probably be there until long after the sun sets. So this is exactly the kind of concrete thing that our committee wanted to provide for this community. It's a tangible way of helping them, but also sending the message that the broader labor movement understands their issues and understands their plight and supports them as a community, but also supports their fight for a treaty and for better treatment in front of the government.